Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today on the Crypto Harvest Show, investors are facing a turbulent week in the crypto markets. Let's break it down, what happened, why it matters, and what could be next. Okay, so the crypto market has officially entered what analysts are calling the red September, right? So over the past 7 days, we saw the total market cap drop by almost $162 billion that were liquidated, they were wiped out, just based off all of the early months gains, completely gone. Bitcoin is down around 5% this week. Ethereum down 13%, dropping to like $4,000. This downturn was mostly triggered, right, by a mix of macroeconomic and some technical factors. The Federal Reserve reduced the rate cut by 25 basis points, which sparked a rally that you would think, but instead it actually led to $1.6 billion in liquidation. Mostly this comes from over-leveraged long positions. Okay, but we do have some winners this week. So we see Winr and Dovu led some gains. There has been some resilient with like BNB with XRP that showed steady weekly gains despite the bearish September market trends. Right? So we can look ahead and hope that regulators clear all of these challenges and that we see all the people get back into their positions. And coming into October, into alt season, we should see this being actually a positive catalyst, because we wipe out all the very like over leveraged individuals. So now these gains are more permanent in nature. But yeah, let me quickly show you guys the tracker and just show you guys the gains and losses that we made today. So I always like to be brutally honest with our portfolio. Like, me hiding my losses to you guys, my gains to you guys, doesn't do anything. So as you can see here, this week we actually lost 10% of our portfolio, just because we are pretty leveraged in these more altcoin-esque, more volatile coins. So although the market fell by like 4%, we see our like beta kind of doubled, so we're down 10%. So that sucks, right? But if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, we're back to 2 weeks ago, right? So we're back to 14 days ago. That's because last week we had an enormous growth of like $7,000, and this week we lost most of it, a bit over 7K. This week we lost close to $9,000, but that really just brings back up to our week 8. And every day we're earning over $100 in just yield farming. So these gains are temporary and they're not permanent, because eventually the market and our yield farming will bring us back to the positive. So let's just go through kind of like what we're going to show you guys this week. Okay, so let's do a quick AVO check. So we see that our AVO is now down to 427. Remember, yes, last week we hit almost 500, so we did fall like $80, but that's okay, because now we can just claim the fees and we're going to add a bit more into AVO. Okay, so we're adding around $4 back into AVO. So that should bring us back up to 430, around there, and we'll see next week how much we are at then. Our Winr position has dropped a bit, but we are going to keep adding to it. We made $24 in just market maker fees, and we made another $25 in pending fees. Okay, so all the fees have been harvested. Now you know the process. We're going to allocate the $25 of X Grail we got, and then once we're done allocating, we will harvest the farmed Grail that got vested for us. So that is around 77 cents, and each week you should see this number go up, and then the 77 cents will convert that into Winr. Alright, that means this week we can add in an additional, what is this? Probably like an additional $18 worth of Winr back into the system, which is pretty good for us. So now we're sitting around $1,800, earning us 713% APR, and we'll see what we are at next week. Alright, in terms of our persona, this week we made, with our 8 personas, they look beautiful by the way, $37. Pretty good. We'll take that and then we'll reinvest that into our Una farms. But these are what the personas look like. I love the bottom four. These few are beautiful. The top four are good, but they're not like my favorite. We can see that we're still able to stake it for 34 more days. After 34 days, we'll see what happens then. Usually they just extend it, or they said, I asked the Discord, they said they might implement some sort of UNA, like duo staking process where you have your UNA tokens and your persona, and somehow they're able to make you earn income from that. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so our UNA farm made us around $5 this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect all the fees and then reinvest it. Okay, so I'm going to add some UNA in here. I have a bit too much, so I'm just going to add the max here and then make a new farm. Okay, this will be the range of the new farm. We're going to aim for around 20% on the downside and 2x on the return, so this should be pretty good. We'll create the farm. I can easily see it going 2x on ETH, so this is good. Alright, so we're moving on to the Polygon network. I know there's a lot, but you guys seem to like this content, so I'll give it to you. We have some Polygon farms in a week it made us $7. But what I like to do now with these farms is there's a new coin that I love buying. It's an altcoin. It's been dropping quite a bit, so now is a good time to buy it. The coin is called SMT, so it's kind of the RWA real world asset coin that is partnering with HBAR. And it's called Swarm Markets, so that's what we do. So what I do now is all the gains that we make from Quick, I'll go and reinvest it into SMT. It's kind of a convoluted way to go about things, but we had to convert our Quick into Polygon token, and now we're going to convert that to SMT. So we'll convert around 75% of our Polygon tokens into SMT, and then we'll deposit it. Right, so with everything converted now, we can go in and add the liquidity. So we'll go here, hit max, we'll add in around $25 into the $236 position. So we're adding around 10% into the position. And yeah, so this would go to the moon hopefully, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'll show you guys one more farm because I feel bad that the market went down and I bet a lot of people are sad. This is just proof and concept as to why, even if the market goes down, you can still make a lot of money. So this farm is my Goose Finance farm. It's my bread and butter. I have 14 grand invested in it. And this week alone, we made $130 in just the BTC BNB farm. Made another $60 in DOT BNB. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to harvest all of our funds here, and then we'll reinvest it into the DOT BNB farm and earn like 40% APR or 30% APR with nothing, right? No risk, just impermanent loss. But if you don't sell, you'll never incur it. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. I'm doing it right now because the market's pretty low. So the DOT should go up in price. Yeah, so if you look at the chart, right, we want to put into the DOT token because it can earn us 30-40% APR. But also, we see over the 1 month chart, DOT is hitting pretty low on the 1 month. And the 1 year chart, it looks even juicier, also hitting like pretty low. The all-time chart, like there's a lot of room to grow with DOT, and I do think DOT's a pretty safe mid-sized bet coming into alt season. You could easily see it 2x, no problem. Like if it goes to its peak, it would 10x, right? Over 10x. But it's kind of an older coin, so it might not 10x anymore, but 2xing easily. Okay, so we're just harvesting all of these, and then we'll be back with the transaction. Okay, so we harvested everything in like a minute. Now we just swap it over. So we'll hit swap. And as you can see here, in a week, we made a bit over a week, we made $200. So that's pretty good. Swap those over, and then we'll reinvest it into the DOT farm in just a moment. Okay, so what we did now is we harvested all our farms, not just Goose, we harvested all the farms. And now we're going to try to convert it into half BNB and half the other one, which was, I think it was DOT that we just talked about. So we'll do DOT and we'll do BNB. And I want to try to actually convert it from here, see what the price impact is. Because the route that it takes will actually give us some extra yield from it too. So that's sort of why I'm doing it. Yeah, so in total we have around $300 that we'll put into the farm, 145 in BNB and 145 in DOT. That's around 50%. So we'll go ahead and confirm the transaction. There's a $1 slippage fee, but that is what it is. Okay. All right, now we are going to add the liquidity. So we'll max out the dot. This is around 0.23% of the entire pool. And that will be around $300, 280, 290. So we'll go ahead and convert that in. There is a deposit fee of like 2%, 4% or something like that, but you make that back up in like a month or two. So no worries in that sense. Go ahead and stake it now over here in the dot pool, stake it, confirm it, and voila, it is complete. So yeah, there we have it. That is the gist of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We did something new. We added a deposit liquidity pool. We also showed that you don't have to be sad about a 10% drop because you know you'll make it back in 2 weeks. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Crypto Harvest. Peace out.